This is what most early game bases look like, but today I want to guide you through the steps to create something that's cheap to build and looks way cooler. Usually a house is built in a square with the pillars like this, so we can start with the same type of square for the base. But instead of adding the pillars as corners, we can add them diagonally to the base like this. To make things interesting, we can add the door to the side instead of in the middle. Then we can simply connect the base corners and the tops of each wall for large windows. Make the door space 3 blocks tall instead of 2. Then use the logs to add a trim around the floor and fill in the floor with planks. Next, add 2 torches on either side of the door outside, and one on the inside next to the door as well. Add your door from inside the house and add stairs above it from outside of the house. Makes things a bit more interesting. We'll make the pillars and walls a bit taller and remove the extra lower row of planks to make the windows bigger. We'll also add some beams on the top of the front and back walls like this. Then we'll fill the top of the side walls like this to stick to the square theme. I usually use stairs or slabs lighter than the base color, like birch in this case, for the trim of the roof. And you want to add them on the sides like this. You can also build up to the peak at the front and the back of the base like this. For the roof itself, I use a shade darker than the base, in this case, spruce. You can just fill the roof like this, and it's up to you if you want the peak to meet or if you'd like to keep it flat. For this build, we'll go with a pointed peak. Next we can add some light, and I like to use lanterns here, but torches also work. I add lanterns on top and below the beams just for that extra bit of light, like this. Then we can complete the upper sections of the walls and add some stairs beneath just to give it an interesting look. We can now focus a bit on the interior of the house and add some lanterns to the roof now that the walls are complete. And then we can add our bed, crafting table, furnace and chests. But I like to mix things up a bit, which we'll get to soon. Seeing as it's almost nighttime, we can add some glass for the windows, but you can also use panes if you'd like. Now, to make the house cozy, we can add some trapdoors for shelves and barrels for more storage. What I like to do is to add the crafting table and furnaces next to the barrels like this, and then add some chests on the floor instead, but really you can mix and match these blocks as you want. We can now add detail to the outside, and I like to use trapdoors, fence posts and other blocks you'll see soon. Usually I'd add some barrels or a chest outside as well, seeing as these blocks are generally meant for inside use. Finally, this is quite popular to do, adding a flower trim around the house. Add some dirt or grass blocks but leave one space open. Then add the flowers of your choice and then fill the spaces with blocks of your choice. I usually go with blocks that can be used like blast furnaces, anvils or stone cutters, but it's really up to you. The next bit is also quite popular, and that's to add trapdoors around the grass blocks to make it all look a bit more neat. Time to add some smaller details that will really make your house pop. Replace the bottom pillar blocks with barrels, add some straight chains, and hell, you can even add item frames to the roof beams and workstation blocks for that extra pinch of detail. Space can be made for an armor stand as well, in this case I chose this block here. And I'll add all of my spare gear to it. Lastly, I like to add bookshelves somewhere in the house, even if they're way up in the ceiling, an extra lantern or torch, and some smaller blocks like buttons or pressure plates. The details do make a difference. Just like that, we're done with our cozy base and can focus on expanding over the next couple of days, or simply building more of these with varying features like block types, color palettes and so on. Take a moment to subscribe if you found this guide useful. I'll be sure to post more builds in the future. Peace.